What is up everyone, Nick here. Welcome to the show if you're new, thanks for coming back if you're not. If you've watched my channel before, you will know that I am specifically focused on companies and commodities I believe will gain value moving throughout the next few years. We are seeing commodities gaining momentum due to the clean energy and EV battery wave and growing economic uncertainties. I was keenly watching Federal Chair Jerome Powell's address yesterday concerning the future well-being and macroeconomic status of the United States. Now, I will have a full video breaking down this address and what I think it means for certain companies I follow. However, in today's episode, I do want to focus on one key aspect I've brought up many times on this channel, and that's the subject of the tried and true gold. As the US pours capital onto the market in the form of stimulus checks, the latest being a $1.9 trillion stimulus deal, many analysts and economists believe this will lead to rising interest rates and inflation down the line. We have seen the price of gold skyrocketing the past year during 2020 as investors, fearing devaluation of the dollar, look for other sources of value to better retain wealth. We can see the spot price of gold actually surge during Federal Chair Powell's address yesterday, and many expect this price will continue climbing in the coming weeks, months, and even years as inflation potentially tightens its grip. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a fascinating gold exploration and mining company that could see their shares surge in the growing economic uncertainty and stimulus flooding the market. Before we get to it, check out our Patreon page. We have more content, under the radar stocks, behind the scenes, and this also gains you access into our private exclusive Discord channel. This is where you can see all of my trades in real time. The chat is always popping off and it is a great community. There's also the free version if you want to. I'll post that in the description. Make sure to always come to your own conclusions whenever allocating capital on the stock market. Although penny stocks do come with more reward, this does indeed come with more risk. Disclaimer, this is a sponsored video. Make sure to always come to your own conclusions, formulate your own decisions, do your own due diligence. Don't just take my word for it because I'm saying it on the internet. Alright ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm first going to go over the state of the economy in regards to gold. I am then going to go over who the company is and their business operations, where they see their company moving in the coming years, and finally I'm going to go over their charting, statistics, balance sheet, and analytics. So the company of today's episode is called West Mining Corporation, trading on the Canadian Stock Exchange under ticker symbol WEST, WEST, and over the counter under ticker symbol WESMF. They are a very newly listed gold exploration company and have already risen almost 300% in that time, 292% to be exact. Now, I'll get back to the company and their operations shortly, but I first want to focus on the status of gold. Now, going to the gold price chart, we can see that it's coming off recent highs and has slightly consolidated. However, we saw nearly the entire market pull back as bond yields rose, and this is actually quite normal. Many of the catalysts that drove the price of gold up in 2020 are in fact still in place, and many economists think it's poised to surge and will likely reach all-time new highs in the calendar year. Now, low interest rates are very healthy for the price of gold. This is because other low risk and quote-unquote safe havens for capital storage, such as treasury bonds, are less attractive when compared to gold, which offers no yield. The Fed recently stated that interest rates will remain low for years, which is very good news for the forecast of the price of gold for years to come. We can see the price of gold sitting at around $17.50, and major analysts at Citi have a 2021 projection of a whopping $2,500 per ounce. Now, gold is expected to also rise due to the growing investor concerns of rapid inflation and the devaluation of the dollar. The levels of both corporate, government, and consumer debt have been also escalating across the globe. The fastest way to offset some of this debt is through debasement or inflation. If we look back through history, we actually see that gold fares much better to the effects of inflation, which draws in investor interest and tends to push the price up. Lastly, gold is also poised to surge amidst the uncertainty and geopolitical turmoil. We have historically seen investors move towards gold as it is a tried and true safe haven during uncertain times, and this year above all else, has been chaotic. Now, all these catalysts have put gold mining and exploration companies into a very unique position. We have seen investor interest rapidly growing and many purchasing shares of mining companies. If you've watched my show before and gone in on some of our early commodity picks, you will have felt some serious gains. So West Mining, based out of beautiful British Columbia, has four main projects: Kena and Daylight, Spanish Mountain West, Junker, and Cogoot Brook. We're going to be focusing primarily on the Kena and Daylight project in the Golden Arc, which I personally think is the most promising site. This is located in southern BC with over 21,000 acres with multiple bonanza grade gold zones, 4 historical high grade mines, and over 3.5 kilometers. Kena has a historical resource of 208,000 ounces at 6 million tons at 1.08 GT. West recently raised 6.67 million in oversubscribed financing in February, which they intend to use for general corporate purposes and to carry out extensive exploration programs. West Mining has 37,132 meters of historic drilling in 156 boreholes. This is all positioned within 8 strong gold and copper target areas. Now, as always, whenever I'm looking at a company, I like to put in extensive research into their management team, and I do like what I'm seeing here. Nicholas Houghton is their president, CFO, and director. He has extensive experience in the private and public capital markets sector. He took a previous exploration company from just exploration to a fully permitted mine in Greenland. Abi Abdi is their CFO. He is a CPA and has extensive experience in the financial sector within both private and public companies. Luc Montaigne is corporate development, who has been involved in the capital markets for more than 15 years. Alex Kleinman, their director, has 30 years of experience in the private and public sectors and experience within junior mining companies. The list goes on. I am liking what I'm seeing. Now, as I previously stated, West shares have rose nearly 300% in just a matter of months. Shares are now hovering just north of $1 Canadian at 1.06. They have a 52-week high of $1.70 and a low of 0.25. This is a massive delta, and we can see that investor interest growing. Now, as is the case with almost every single junior mining company, they have not generated revenue and have reported negative net income. However, this is quite normal of junior mining companies in exploration phases. There is more reward getting in on these promising companies earlier. However, do remember that this does come with increased risk. They reported net income loss in Q4 2020 of negative 43,000, posting diluted EPS of negative 1 cent. They increased their cash position quite significantly, up 451%, and posting 103.84 thousand. In Q4 2020, they posted 196,000 cash on hand. However, they did indeed just raise 6.67 million in oversubscribed financing. I do think we will see the price of gold climb throughout the next few years. No, I do not think this will be a straight linear climb. We will likely see small peaks and valleys, but I do think when zooming out and looking on the grand scheme, due to the unprecedented uncertainty, the low interest rates, and the heightened threat of inflation, investors will inevitably increasingly turn towards gold, and I think exploration and mining companies will be the beneficiaries to this fundamental shift. Anyways, everyone, make sure to always come to your own conclusions whenever allocating capital on the stock market. Remember that penny stocks do have more potential reward. However, this does indeed come with more risk. Do your own due diligence, do your own research, get as much information as possible. Don't just take my word for it because I'm saying it on the internet. I am not a financial advisor. Knowledge is your friend. Anyways, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Happy trading. Cheers.